Hello everyone. Today we're going to be running through a solo game of Small City. So we have a easy, medium and hard objective to choose from. The easy objective is residences of 4 differing sizes, which for the least amount of points isn't too bad. The medium one is commerce buildings, 3 of them of the maximum size, and the hard one is residences of all 5 differing sizes. So I think the medium one isn't too bad. We'll try for that one to get our 3 maximum level commerce buildings, so we'll pick that one. And that gets us 12 points if we complete it, but if we fail to complete it we lose 6 points. And then to start the game we have a look at our selection here. So the first thing we do is selecting our action, and then we come down the rest in order. So selecting our action is slightly different in a solo game. In a solo game the mayor comes along and takes the first action available anyway, and then you have these 2 radiating out from it for free, and this one at the bottom for 2 coins. So the opponent is basically just a space wasting action, unfortunately. The engineer is nice because when you produce in your industry buildings for this turn you get no pollution due to production, but that costs 2. Might not be a bad choice actually. And the mediator, when you build you get a -1 coin discount for your buildings, but unfortunately they still cost at least 1, and since it's the first turn of the game we can only produce or put out level 1 buildings anyway. That's not strictly true. We could put out, for example, a level 2 park, but I am playing with the parks variant today. So normally you can build or buy level 1, level 2 and level 3 parks, and they have no restrictions on their placement. But with the parks variant you cannot buy level 2 or level 3 parks, you can only grow them from your size level 1 parks. So even so, I think we'll still go for the mediator. It's a free action, and then we'll start off by putting out a level 1 park. No, we'll do parks later. Parks are nice for curbing pollution, but I don't think we'll be suffering from pollution too much in the early game, so we'll do parks later. So instead we'll do 1 industry, 1 commerce and 1 residence. Definitely an industry to start getting goods out. Maybe in that case then 2 residences, and we'll do commerce. No, 1 residence, 1 commerce, 1 industry. Commerce is nice for money. So we want to place the commerce in such a way that we're going to be influenced by lots of residences to get it up to maximum level, which is what we're looking for. And we need to place the industry in such a way that it is nowhere near our residences, because those 2 do not like each other and you cannot place them together. So if we place that one down here, well, place it down here so it can expand and it's well out of the way, and then we do residence here, commerce there, something along those lines. Okay. And we'll see how well that works out. And that's going to cost us 3 coins, so unfortunately the discount is only down to, as I said, a minimum of 1. So we still have to pay the 3 coins for those, and our new starter home gets a person immediately on it. So that was the building step. We can do 3 builds or 1 build in an area expansion. Now we come to the citizen movement, which has sub-steps. A is moving citizens around in your city, B is moving them from City Hall to starter homes, and C is moving people from your available pool of persons into your City Hall based on the amount of free industry jobs you have to entice them to come along, really. So we do sub-step A, which is moving people around. So this guy can either stay there for 1 vote, or he can come here and generate 1 coin, or he can come down here and generate 1 good. 1 coin I think is the best option at the moment, because that will give us then 3 coins for next round to buy 3 more buildings. So we'll do that. Then we come to income. So first it goes commerce buildings, then industrial buildings. So this guy will generate 1 coin, as we did there. Got ahead of myself slightly. Then we do voting. So there is no one available in our residences to vote for us, so we get no votes. Then we do pollution. So citizens in our area, of which we have 1, people in City Hall do not count, plus any goods that we've produced that turn, and we have produced no goods, so that's fine. So it's just the 1 citizen just generating 1 pollution by himself. So we move that up. And then we come to the council track, where we get our benefits. So we can either choose building goods, we can either choose free buildings, money or votes, and tourists. And tourists here is not quite tourists in a multiplayer game where you can send people to other people's cities. This track indicates that aside from this pool of people, you also have a spare area here of citizens that you normally cannot get access to unless you move them across using the relevant options there. So that one's not worth it just at the moment. We do have use for money and votes, but not yet. So it's either building goods or a free build. We'll go for that one. So first things first, we get 1 building, size 1, of either industry, commerce, parks or residences, or we get the size 1 foundry. And we're going to choose the foundry, because this now starts influencing our industry buildings. And I realised that when I placed that industry building, we should have got a warehouse to store our goods in for free, so that will just go there. So that was our free build with the council action, and to pay for the council action you can either use votes, money or promises. So in this case we're going to pay with promises, so we'll pick 4 off the top of the deck, like so, and then you have to pick one, and if you fail to fulfill your promise you lose points at the end of the game. If you succeed, that's all good. You've then used that promise to pay for your council bonus. So we're not going to go for that one, definitely not, because the police and the fire station, those 2 buildings there, which we have to have built in this promise, only affect tourism that comes in to your board from other players' boards, or that you send out to other players' boards. And obviously in a solo game, that will not affect us in any way, so this one is of no use to us. So not that one, but any of these will be fine. I think we'll go for this one, which indicates you need to have built the least amount of industry buildings. And obviously in a solo game we will have the least amount of industry buildings anyway, so that's fine. So that's the promise that we're using to pay for our council benefit. So we do the council step. Now we move our mark around to the next turn, and we're on turn 2. And we start again with action selection. So these guys will come off. Those will just go up there, and then we get the 4 next ones out, and the mayor will automatically claim the first one. Okay, so the mayor is of no use to us because that, in a normal game, gives you the first player marker, so you can be first next turn. Well, obviously, in a solo game, that's not going to be worth it. The urban planner allows us to increase our available area for building, and the architect allows us, when we build culture buildings, to use 1 less resource. I think still the urban planner would be useful because it costs nothing, whereas the architect would cost us 2. So yes, go for the urban planner, which means we get a free planning space increase. And then we come to the build step. So we've got 3 coins, we can do 3 builds. Well, we're definitely going to start building parks now, because now we are generating pollution. We want to stifle that. Might be worth building another industry and another home. So we'll spend our 3 coins. We need to work on getting some more for next time. And then we'll put the residence here, which is fortunate that we've increased our building area, because now this commerce building can increase in size because it is influenced by 2 residence buildings. This parks are useful as a buffer between residences and industry because they are affected by neither. So if we put this park there, say, we can then grow it around to stop this from encroaching. This guy should have come into this starter home when it was built. And the industry building, if we place it here, down at the bottom there, so both of these, because they are now affected by this foundry, will immediately grow to size 2. So we'll take them off, get 2 size 2s. So one like that and one like that. The building placement rules stay the same. So for example, when it was built, it generates 1 white good in this spot. So when you build a level 2 building, you have to have it so it still generates 1 white good in that spot, and then the other ones can move off in whichever direction you choose. And when this was placed, it needs a free warehouse, so we'll just put that free warehouse over there. Okay, so that's our 3 builds. Now we come to citizens. So this citizen cannot stay in this area, he has to move, and this area cannot be occupied by someone else coming into his place. So he basically, normally it's to prevent spaces being filled up so that tourists from other players' boards cannot then move into their spots. So it keeps people flowing around, it keeps available options. So instead we're going to move him down and we're going to start generating some goods, I believe. We need at least 1 white good for a cultural building next turn, so that's what we'll do. And then this guy will come over and start building this park, I think. Start growing that park. So that was the moving citizens around. Now we get new ones coming in from City Hall to available homes, like so. And then we have 3 open industry areas, so we get 3 people coming in to City Hall from our pool of workers, pool of citizens, like that. Excuse me a second. Okay, then we do pollution. So we're generating, sorry, no, I skipped a step, several in fact. Then we do income, so we do commerce first, of which we have none. And then we do industry, of which we have 1 guy generating 1 good. Like that. Into the warehouse it goes. And then we do votes, and we have no one... Oh, we do, I tell a lie. We have 1 person generating a vote by himself. So we get 1 vote for that. Then we do pollution. So 1, 2, 3, plus a generated good is a total of 4, minus 1 for the park. So that's 3 in total, like so. And I should point out that in a solo game you can pick the difficulty of the game that you're playing. So we are playing at the moment on governor difficulty, which basically means once we hit the threshold of 10 pollution, then pollution starts coming into effect and we lose citizens. And we lose, in a governor difficulty on a solo game, 1 citizen if your pollution increased by more than 2. Varying difficulty levels in the solo games affect, obviously, the levels of pollution you have to hit to lose citizens. And we'll see how that comes into effect later on once we cross that pollution threshold. But for now, we're on to the council track step. So it's probably worth at this point going for... We've already got the good we need to build the first culture building, so I think we're going to do that. And that, once we pay for it in a second, will allow us to put out our dock, and that will increase our industry areas and get us generating better goods. So we have to pay for it, and now we only have 3 promise cards to choose from, rather than the 4 we had before. And those options will decrease as we go along until you get up to the 4th step, where you are, if you choose that payment method, given a promise card and you have to fulfill it or lose points. But for this one, well, we're going to have the most residence areas anyway, so we'll choose that one. And those 2 can go back. So now we get our building that we bribed our way into to grab. So if we put the dock like that, then that will affect these 2 industry buildings, which will then increase in size on our next build, which is good. So next turn, turn 3, straight away to the action selection. So we have 8 cards to choose from in total, so you basically get a selection of 4, another selection of 4, and then you have to take the entire selection, shuffle them up, and then redeal out from that deck. So give them a quick shuffle. Oops. And then we have the engineer, which will immediately get claimed by the mayor. The opponent, which again is a space wasting card. Oh dear, the mayor, which is a space wasting card in a solo game, and then the architect. We cannot choose the architect because we have no coins, so we are forced to go for either of these 2 for 0 coins. Doesn't matter which one we go, may as well be the opponent. So that is unfortunately a wasted action this turn, but never mind. Now we go to the building. Well, again we have no coins, so we're going to go for 1 build and 1 area increase. Not the worst thing in the world to get available area straight away. And then our 1 build is swapping out this good for that culture building. And you can see on your handy player sheet the various culture buildings and the costs associated with them. So level 1 costs 1 white good, and that's what we've done. And then if we put that here, like so, that will then influence these 2 buildings, and they will shoot up to size 2 buildings. So the city hall counts as 1 culture building to influence, and the one we displace counts as 1. So those residences will go like so. Although I have realised that if we do that, then we won't be getting more citizens in at the end of the turn, and we do need more citizens. So actually, I think we'll put both of them back, in fact, and we'll just expand them next turn, because at the moment we do need more citizens. So that is there basically as future-proofing, and it will expand those when I choose to expand them. But however, these 2 industry buildings will now expand, because it is incredibly beneficial to have them do so at the moment. So that one, and that one, again respecting the building limits, so we have to go that way around. So that was our build. Now I move citizens. well, this guy can't stay here, but fortunately he has a brand new job just on the other side of the building, where he will now generate the highest level of goods possible. And this park should have also increased in size, because the guy was very good in sticking around growing it for us, like so. I think it's probably worth him actually moving off this park now and coming to generate some money for us, so we have money for next round. And then this person will actually come down here and start generating another high-level good over there. So yeah, you cannot stay in the same place, and that place cannot be reoccupied, so that's fine. Now we get, as I mentioned, more citizens into starter homes from City Hall, so that and that. And then we have 4 available areas enticing new people in, so we will get 4 people, but our City Hall only has a limit now for 3 extra people, so we will only get 3 of them, unfortunately. And the last guy goes home disappointed. And then we do the income step. So commerce first gets us 1 coin, and then goods generation gets us 2 black goods. I'll put those on our warehouse spaces there. Then we do voting, so 1 vote, 2 votes, up to 3. And pollution. So slightly higher now, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 from the 2 goods produced. So that is now putting us over the threshold. So that will be up to 11, like so. So now we have reached the threshold, and for future turns, 1 citizen will die if our pollution increases by more than 2, which I can assure you it will, undoubtedly. So I'll have to find a way. More parks probably is the order of the day for that. So we do our council step, and it might be worth getting a bit of cash, an influx of cash, in order to pay for expansion. Yes. So we'll get 2 coins, and we'll pay for it with our promises. So we are going to pledge, well, we've already pledged to have the least amount of industrial areas. So I don't think it makes sense to then try and pledge to have the most amount of industrial areas. Technically, even though that will be true, because as the person with the only amount of industrial areas, we could have the least and the most. But even so, I think we will pledge to have the most money. So that's that one. Did our council step. Now on to round 4, back to the action selection. So these 4 have moved off, we get the other 4 out. So the mayor will claim the mediator action. The support is looking pretty nice now. Councillor. And the urban planner. Well, we do not, although the councillor will get us a free movement. So, not going to use the urban planner because we've got almost max expansion at the moment anyway. So it's either supporter for more money, which would be useful, or the councillor, which is a council track increase right now. So we could go, well, we could actually go for even more money and pay for it with money, and that would get us greater benefits later on. We have no use at the moment for more building materials or greater buildings. So yeah, I think we'll move up to the next step of the income area. So we'll get 3 money, but we'll pay for it with 2 money, which will just get us 1 in total. So that was our action. And now we come to building. So we have quite a bit of money to spend at the moment. We're definitely going to want new starter homes. Definitely, we will need more commerce because we have that bonus objective of commerce to go for. So we're going to go for one home, one commerce, and another park to help our pollution out. So that's the 3 builds for 3 money. Now we just have to figure out where to put them. So we want this building to start influencing another commerce building. So if we place that like so, and then those are going to expand upwards. So if we have that, say, here, for example, not only will it immediately pull someone in from City Hall, but now these will start expanding upwards, which is what we're looking for. So that. And we'll just move that over to there. And then we have the park to place. So this space is going to get filled when this park expands. So if we put... well, actually, we're going to have some industry areas on the other side here that need a buffer gap. So, yeah, we'll put that park there instead. So that was our builds. Now we have the citizen movement. So we're going to start trading in goods for cash because we're going to need a lot of it. And these guys are going to start, I think, building parks. Although, if we place, because we are going to possibly need some more goods, but the more goods we produce now, the more pollution. Well, it's likely that someone's going to die anyway. From pollution anyway. So, yeah, money, goods for cash. Fine, we'll go for multiple goods for cash, and we'll get the maximum amount of money we can at the moment, and that will hopefully, yeah, and that will hopefully ensure that we won't have any cash problems later on down the line. So growing park, yeah, that all seems fine, and this guy can just stay and vote for us, yeah. So we've moved citizens around, now we have new ones coming in to vote from City Hall, and then we have a lot of open industrial areas which will bring in all the remaining people, well, tell a lie, 3 people from our pool of citizens into City Hall. So we only have 1 left, so it might now be worth going up on the council track and getting more people in that way. We'll see. So income, we now have 2 goods conversions into cash, there and there, so we'll take these 2 goods. And if we look at the player aid, we can see that we can convert goods white, grey and black to varying levels of coins or votes. So 2 black goods will get us 10 money. So we're up to 11, which is very good. Commerce, well we have, industry, so we have no one in industry to generate for us, so that's fine. Voting, we've got 1, 2, 3 voting areas, so that's 3 points, 1, 2, 3. And pollution, oh dear. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people. We didn't generate any goods, so that's fine. So it's 8 minus 1, 2, 3 parks is a total of 5. So up to 16, and we definitely went more than 2 pollution this time around. So we're going to lose a citizen. Okay, well, if we take... We can't take people off there because we want those guys to grow parks for us. Might be worth opening up a commerce space. So unfortunately he will die a death to pollution, and basically now you just put him somewhere in your available area and he now starts a graveyard, and as more people die they get added to the graveyard, so you can have an increasing sprawl of dead citizens cluttering up your nice city. So that was pollution. Now we come to council, and what have we got? 4 turns left. That should be enough to get us 4 commerce buildings. Sorry, get us the commerce buildings we need for the bonus. So I think it's probably worth now maybe going for money for votes, because we do have a lot of money now. So if we spend 3 coins, so we'll spend 3 coins as such, leaves us with 8, and we'll take 5 votes from that, so we're up to 11. Okay, and we move the round marker on, so 5th round. Need to do another quick shuffle of the various cards. And I think things are looking reasonably well for our bonus objective, so now it's just basically a case of trying to curb pollution. Pollution gets you negative points at the end of the game, so if we try and curb our pollution now as much as possible by basically sticking parks everywhere and anywhere, and hopefully that will mean we don't lose too many points at the end. So the mayor grabs the mediator. We have the architect, which is unfortunate because we have no resources to build stuff with. The city councillor, that could be useful. Or the urban planner. Well, again, we don't need the urban planner at the moment because we're almost at max building area anyway. Architect, we have no resources to build culture buildings with, so the discount will still not help us. So the councillor for nothing. And if we come to the council track, we can see that it might be worth getting... Can we place a level 3 building straight out? Now this is a way... Oh, actually that's pretty good. This is another way you can get level 2 and level 3 parks out. So normally you have to grow them from your level 1s, but if you go through the council track, you can actually put out level 3 parks. So that would be a very good idea right now to start getting lots of parks out. So it's just a case of where to put it now. We're going to have 1 park down there, so if we put 1 here, like that, that's very useful. And we need to pay for it, so is it worth 3 money for that? Or shall we try 2 promise cards? We'll try 2 promise cards and hopefully they won't mess us up too much. Oh, I believe we should be on turn 5. Right, so we're going to pick the one which we need to have the most commerce. Okay. Alright, that was the action we chose to take, so now we're on to builds. So we have enough money to do enough builds. Definitely more starter homes. Definitely more commerce buildings. We need to get those out. And more parks, probably. So that will be our 3 builds for 3 money. Right, so this park is going to expand to a size 3 park. This park is going to expand to a size 2 park. These two homes will expand to size 2 homes. And that. Okay, so now we need somewhere to place this commerce. Now we need somewhere to place that resident. And another park. Well, we're going to have some available space here, I believe, because that park can expand down there. So we'll put that park in there, that's fine. We're going to put this residence there. And we'll put that commerce there. So that should now set us up nicely to try and expand these into the level, the maximum level that we need them to be. And then that home gets a new person like so. Okie dokie. And then we do the moving citizens around, so we're going to start generating more goods, I believe. So this guy is finished with this park. We'll have him come over to this park. These two can come off there and start generating more goods for us. Various people in various residences. So what we'll do is we'll group them up so they get us more bonuses from residences. Is it worth, instead of doing that, is it worth getting the relevant resources needed to produce one more culture building? So this culture building requires 2 white goods, and if we place it here, for example, it can then expand these buildings. I think actually what it's probably worth doing, instead of putting sorry, I had a complete brain freeze then, the finance building there, it might be worth putting it there instead. And then when this expands round, hopefully it will influence that too. And I realise that this one should have also grown to a size 3. Like so, when that one was placed. In that case, yes, it may well be worth... We've got time on that. We're not pressed for time just yet. So if we do 1 max level good and 1 white good, and that will be the 2 resources that we need for the time being. So we'll do that. Then we get new people into starter homes from City Hall, such like that. And then we have our last guy come over into City Hall attracted by our industry positions that are available. We do income, so we have no one on the relevant commercial at all. We have 2 goods generation from our industry, so again 1 white, 1 black goes into our warehouses. We have some votes now, so 1, 2, and then because these people are in the same building, their votes start becoming cumulative. So you can see on the chart here that 1 person gets you 1 vote, but 2 people together get you 3 votes, and so on and so forth. So actually, we're going to get 1, 2 from these, and then 3, 6 from these guys. So that's a total of 8. And, yeah, counted him, so that's 8, brings us up to 19. Now we do pollution. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, not counting dead people or people in City Hall. Plus 2 goods is 12. Minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a park. 6, 7, 8, 9. Total of 3. Ah, just one shy. That is unfortunate. Never mind. So up to 19, we now lose someone else to pollution, because we did go over the more than 2. If we lose one of these guys in a residence. Tad unfortunate, and vote for me, but you died anyway. Never mind. Now we do our council step. So if we move either of these up to the max level, they get locked in and they're going to stay there. But we do need, as I said, that one white good for another culture building. So we'll shift this one down and we'll generate that one white good. And that will go into our warehouse. And then we need to pay for it, and we'll pay for it with promises. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And well, we're definitely going to have the most pollution. We have already got the one for most residences, so again, having the one for least residences doesn't make much sense. So we'll take those 3 and go for the one for pollution. Oh, I think that moved ahead, so that's fine. On to turn 6. Pick our new action. That is the mayor. Well, that's handy. He grabs the mayor space. Ah, the engineer is going to be very useful this turn. Yep, no question about that. So the engineer means that whenever you produce goods from your industry buildings, you do not generate pollution. So we are going to go all out on producing goods now. Let's do the build first. So we've got 5. I'll take that and split it into 5 ones. Okay. So first of all, our first build is actually going to be free coins, but it's going to cost us 2 goods. And then we're going to need more residences and more parks, I think. Parks and residences, like such. So that's our 3 in total, costing us 2 coins and then the 2 goods. So if we put the culture there, then we can expand this house. Like so. Which will very handily now expand this. That way around. And we've got one house to place, which we need to start influencing commerce with, and we've got one park to place. So if we put the park over here, because nothing else is going to go in that area really. And then the house will need to go, if we place it there, that will get both of these up to max level. Just double check that. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 for that one, which is fine. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 for that one, which also is fine. So yes, and then we just need that to be influenced by 2 more houses. Perfect. So these 2 will become maximum level. Oh dear. I have realised that we are not actually up to that building area level yet. The disc is still there, which blocks off this particular part of the building section. So it's fine. These will expand next round. So next round we'll do 1 build and then an area expansion, which will be fine. So that house should get a person onto it. And I believe everything else is fine. These parks should now expand, so we'll just shift that one over for that park expansion. And then that park expansion will just wrap round, like so. Perfect. That should be everything. So now we do person movement. Well, let's start putting these people into the same house to generate more votes. We need... Now we can produce anything without consequence of pollution. We're going to produce everything. So production, take you off that part for production. Take you off that residence also for production. And then he can still grow that park, and that is fine. And then residents into new homes, and we have no one else to bring in from our area based on our industry jobs available. So we're going to skip that, and we'll see if we need to bring in more people by going on the council track to get them into our available pool. But for the time being, we're going to do income. So commerce buildings are producing new income. Industry buildings are producing pretty much everything. So 1 black, 1 white, 2 grey. 1 black, 1 white, and then 2 grey. Like so. Our warehouses are not going to be able to get all these, are they? So we'll have to start filling up City Hall. There we go. Voting time. So 1 vote for him. 3 votes for these guys, and now this will generate 6 votes. So that's a total of 10, which is very good. So we're up to 29. Pollution step. So again, no pollution from goods produced this turn. So it's just people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11. Minus more than that in parks, I believe. Yep. So you cannot have negative pollution. You cannot, we're not scrubbing the environment here. You cannot reduce your pollution below its established level. So we just leave it as it is and it stops there, which is perfectly fine. Happy with that. Next is our council track. Yep, I think it's worth maybe going on this track here. So we will do that, which brings in 1 person from our available pool into our area there, and then we can shuttle him across next round. So, oh, and we should have paid for that with 1 coin, I think. Leaves us with enough, hopefully, for the rest of the game. So next round we'll do a quick reshuffle of the cards for the final time. And then what are we looking at now? So we've almost got our commerce buildings to maximum level, which is fine for our bonus objective. So now it's just the most efficient use of trading goods and or coins for points, basically, to round out the game. Okie dokie. So the mayor will claim the engineer spot, so unfortunately we cannot reproduce everything for no pollution this turn, but that's fine. Opponent, the supporter probably is the best one to go for at the moment. We have little use for the mediator since we're going to do 1 build and 1 area expansion. So if we go for the supporter, will get us 2 points for free. 2 votes, I should say. Now we come to our build. So again, we were going to do 1 build and 1 area expansion, so that gets us to the maximum area. And our build is going to be another residence, because we need to start influencing this up to maximum size. What? So we could still produce 1 culture building, actually. In which case, we'll put that there and then we'll try and influence it with the culture building later, maybe. So these will now all increase by 1 size, because these now have the space, or I should say these areas now have the space to do so. So we've got 1 of level 3 and then 2 of maximum level, so we're almost there with our bonus. This park will now grow, like so. And that's all that happens there, and we should get any person into the starter home, but we have no one in City Hall, so that step is not applicable. Citizen movement. So these guys cannot stay here, but they can now come and work in our burgeoning commerce empire. So if we trade goods for votes and goods for votes, and goods for money? Yes, probably goods for money and then later on. Or if we save them, I think we'll save them actually, and we'll try and get these guys voting for us instead. Well, we'll have one come and grow that park. This guy is done with his park, so he can now vote for us. Something along those lines. Okay. Maybe we'll do one goods for money just in case. So we do the income, tell light, we do people from City Hall, or we have no one there, but we now can bring this one person over into City Hall and have him wait until next turn. Income, so we do commerce first. So we're doing 2 goods into votes conversions. So the black goods, which are the most worth the most high tech, are going to get us a total of 14 points, 7 apiece. So that will bring us up to 35, 45. And those are out. So these guys are done with. Next we will turn, I think we'll just turn our white good into 2 coins, just in case we need a bit more money towards the end of the game for buying council track stuff maybe. We have no one working left in industry, so industry does not produce. We have voting now. So what have we got? So that, well, let's do individual first. So 1, 2, this house is going to produce 3 up to 5, and then this house is going to produce 6 up to 11. So that brings us up to 56. So we come round up to 50 and we put out a little 50 marker to indicate that we're now 56, which is very good. Okay, pollution. So total people, not counting City Hall, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And we didn't produce any goods, so it's just 11. Again, that is all covered by parkland, so that's fine. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yep, 11. So we produce no pollution, and then we come to the council step. So worth getting more people out, or now, what have we got, 4 coins, so we could spend all 4 to get our Department of Economy up to its maximum level. Might do that for the final step. So actually, if we do that, spend 1 coin now to skip out building next turn. Can't have 2 markers on the same track, unfortunately. Or generate, yeah, let's probably do that one instead. So we'll generate 1 white good and it will cost us 1 coin. And that will just go into our warehouse there. Right. So now we come to the next turn, the final turn. Back to actions. So these are out, and the last 4 are in. So the mayor is going to claim the architect, that is fine. So city councillor, urban planner, we don't need the urban planner, we don't need the mayor, so city councillor for free. And we're going to move up. Well, now If we go there, that would give us the goods needed to put out that. Yes, that would give us the goods needed to put out that extra culture building we were looking at. So we'll go there, we'll pay for it with 2 coins, our last 2. Well, we've got 1 coin left, which is probably not going to be worth much at all. And we'll get, if I just look at this sheet quickly, so the culture building we're going to put out needs 2 whites and a grey. Well, we've got the grey, so we need a couple more whites. So if we get the 2 whites for that council track increase, which is fine, paid for it with our money, so now we come to our building and we spend the 2 whites and the grey good to build this culture building. If we place it there, that will influence both of these buildings. No, I tell you, it won't influence that one at all. I have made a slight mistake in my placement of this. And in fact, no, we're okay. So we need to spend our last coin to build our remaining residence area. Place that there, which will now influence that to grow up to maximum level, which is what we need. And then this one will just increase that residence then, which is fine, to a size 2. And that is that for our builds. So now we come to citizen movement. So if we start exchanging cash for points and goods for cash, and I realise that this park should have increased as well, not that it makes too much of a difference. So now he is no longer necessary there, so he can move over and generate more goods for cash. And then we get the maximum amount of people into our homes possible. Something like that, which should be fine. No one else can move from City Hall into starter home, so that's fine. And then we have no one else in our pool to move into City Hall. So now we do income. So we're going to do commerce first. So we can do these in any order. So we'll trade in, as per the 2 goods for cash, 1 grey and 1 white, which is going to gain us a total of 5 money. And then we will do cash for votes, and we can trade, well, we could do 2 of them. So if we look at the sheet here, we can see on the right hand side there that 1 money gets 2 votes, 2 gets 3, and so on and so forth. So if we split them across the 2 actions, we can do a total of 5 money, which will get us 7 points. So 2 money for 3 votes and 3 money for 4 is 5 money for 7. In total brings us up to 13, or 63 I should say. So we've done commerce, we have no industry producing, which is fine. We now have some extra voting for us in our homes. So that guy is going to get us 1 vote. These 2 will get 3 apiece for 6. And then this one will get 3 votes for 6. So that's 3, 6, 12, 13, I believe. Yep. So that's another 13, up to 26 or 76. And 1 final pollution step, and again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 should all be covered quite handily by park areas, so we do not lose pollution there. And I completely missed that this commerce area should have increased in size, which is quite important because that will get us our bonus for the end of the game, which is what we do now. Well, almost. So now we do 1 final commerce, council step I should say, and we will do that one I believe. It's not worth going into the promises area, because if you get one card that you can't fulfill, since you're at the end of the game, we'll be stuck. So we'll just pay for 8 votes with 4 votes, which gets us a net 4, which is perfectly fine. And then we do the end. So that comes off. We do final end of game scoring. So we get our final score, which is 80 points, plus our bonus, which we did succeed in doing. So we got maximum level for 3 commerce buildings. So that gets us an extra 12, brings us to 42, 92, sorry. And we take away pollution. So we can see here our pollution is at 19. So we go down 19, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. Sorry, 9 and then another 10 to 73 in total. And if we check the back of the rulebook, we can see that 73 is in the village category. So on the overall scoring, it's pretty low, but I'm happy with that. I don't mind at all. So there we go. That is one solo play of Small City. I hope you enjoyed it. I have a feeling I tended to ramble towards the end as I was getting towards the end. But I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.